we ready?
I guess so.
Okay. Hi, I'm Noelle.
And I'm Marisa, but Noelle calls me Pete.
True.
And welcome back to Take It Home.
Woo! First things first, I'm the realist. Drop this and let the whole world feel it. If you guys have seen that video, obviously that's Fancy by Iggy Azalea, but if you've seen the video of, what's her name? Jenna Rose doing it, you're a real one. If you haven't seen it, look it up right now. She's like, it looks like she's at some family cookout or something performing it. I don't know why that just popped into my head. Anyways. Our first segment is always Sip of the Week. Do we need a jingle for Sip of the Week?
Probably, but I feel like it has to come naturally.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sip of the Week.
that was not natural.
No, it wasn't. Sip
I
of the Week.
don't even know how Smile of the Week jingle was born.
We need to go back and watch.
We do. Because how did that even happen? Don't know.
Don't know.
Anyway.
Don't care. Just kidding. I do care.
Our sip
Is a, what did we call it? Sleepy Girl Mocktail?
Sleepy Girl Mocktail.
Dude, you texted me that earlier and I was like, don't know what that is, but sure. You're like, should we do a Sleepy Girl Mocktail?
I was typing what it was, but you had responded too soon. You're like, I don't know what that is, but sure. You're like, what is that? But yes. So, what is that, you might ask?
Well. I Googled it after, and Pete told me what it is. It is cherry juice. I'm like, how do I describe this?
It's Tart Cherry Juice.
Tart Cherry Juice with lemon lime Olipop on top.
Yeah. So you could top it off with any sparkling. You could do like seltzer, whatever. We just did a lemon lime Olipop.
The reason why it's a Sleepy Girl Mocktail is because cherry juice is supposed to make you tired.
Cherries actually have melatonin in them, if you didn't know.
Wait, I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now.
You have to eat a lot of them to feel the effects, or obviously drink it juiced. But yeah, they have melatonin. That's why it helps you sleep. And I used to like religiously drink cherry juice at night. And I really do think it helps. I don't know if it was the placebo effect or not, but
maybe it does.
helps.
We'll see. Let's see how we sleep tonight. We'll report back next week.
Also, if you really want to go the extra mile, the real Sleepy Girl Mocktail has magnesium powder.
But
we aren't about to spend $40 on that. So.
No. Okay, well, let's see how this is.
Okay.
Cheers. Eye contact. Good, actually.
I love cherry juice.
I love juice in general. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this because I personally hate soda. Which, like, I didn't have to, like, put Olipop in it, I guess. But sometimes it's okay when I have a little bit of fizz if it's with a juice or like, in a cocktail.
Like, diluted.
Like, I felt like I didn't just want cherry juice. And so I'm actually glad I did that. I really like it. Plus, I put less Olipop in mine than I did in yours.
It adds a little brightness.
It does. And we chose lemon lime Olipop. Or I did.
I've been obsessed lately with the Shirley Temple Poppy.
Everybody is.
Yeah, it's like a thing. Bloom Pop, Poppy, and Olipop all came out with Shirley Temple flavors. And I've only tried the Poppy one, but I've heard the Bloom Pop one is the best. But the Shirley Temple one, I'm really all for.
I was trying to get my dad on the healthy sodas. Dad, if you're listening to this, buy either Olipop, Poppy, or what is it, Bloom Pop? Buy one of those, the Mountain Dew flavor.
There's like Culture Pop. It's like a whole thing.
Dad, instead of Mountain Dew, try that one morning.
They do have like a Mountain Dew knockoff one. Like,
he needs to try that. I've been saying that for a while.
I've been a fan of the Shirley Temple one. I really, really like it. And I thought that would be a cute one to do with this mocktail as well, because cherry, Shirley Temple.
I looked for Shirley Temple, but they didn't have it.
Yeah, I actually looked for one yesterday when I went to the store and they didn't have it.
Rip.
So I got the cranberry one, which is also good, but the Shirley Temple one is my favorite so far.
Does it actually taste like Shirley Temple?
It does.
Animal crackers in my soup.
Shirley Temple. So that's our sip. Hopefully we don't fall asleep on y'all.
What if we literally fell asleep while filming the podcast and we woke up tomorrow morning and like
That'd
had been
be
filming for
crazy.
8 hours?
Now it's time for
Smile of the week, smile of the week, smile of the week, smile of the week.
I know mine.
Okay.
It's just cute. So I always find myself with random hours to kill in New York. Like when I'm going from place to place and you don't have enough time to go home, but you have you have time to kill. Happens to me so often. And that's a lot harder to do in the winter.
Yes.
Because when it's summer, I just sit on a stoop or sit in the park and that's that. But when it's winter, like literally it happened to me today. I ended up getting to work to nannying to pick up the kids a little too early, like half an hour early. Because you never know. The trains are you're either like late or so early. So today it was so early and I had to like go to a coffee shop. So all that to say, I always find myself going into random coffee shops, getting a coffee here and there just so I can sit in there for 30 minutes. And I went to this coffee shop a couple days ago. I got a tea and I sat down and I was gonna do like some stuff on my laptop, but I didn't see a Wi-Fi password anywhere. But I did see that this coffee shop had a network. So I went and asked, I said, hey, do you all have Wi-Fi? And she said, not anymore, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. And so I sit back down. I was like, I'll just like go on my phone, whatever. But then she comes and slips me. She wrote it down on like a pastry bag and like slipped me the Wi-Fi password.
Wait, that's so cute.
Because clearly like they probably weren't allowed to give the Wi-Fi out to customers. But she did for me. And then she also complimented my glasses and my sweater. So
oh my God.
she was just very sweet. Very cute little interaction. And
That's
I was like,
cute.
And I actually still have the pastry bag with the
That's so funny.
Wi-Fi password on it. I was like, thank you. She was like, yeah, no problem.
I love that.
Yeah.
As she should.
Yeah, it was sweet.
That's awesome. I would so do that too.
And I was
if
like,
were working.
I will be out of here in less than 30 minutes. Don't worry. I won't linger.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Well, that is a sweet little smile. I guess my smile will be that today I had the most chill freaking day ever. Well, first of all, I came home from an audition with Rodney. We took a nap and then awoke and then watched a movie because I didn't have work today. And it was just honestly really nice to have a day where I went to an audition this morning, so it's not like I didn't do anything today, but after that I sat and laid around and it was pretty nice.
That's nice.
I know, right? Like I feel like I haven't had a day like that in a while where I just sit and watch TV all day.
Mm-hmm.
It was slay. We watched Wolf of Wall Street, which I've never seen before until today. I feel like that's such like a finance bro movie to watch. Like, I don't know. It's just about these like stockbrokers and there's so much they're like all so sexist and like they're just doing drugs and literally fucking bitches and getting money the whole movie. Rodney was like, I don't know if you're gonna like this movie or literally hate it. And I actually really enjoyed it. Like Margot Robbie was amazing. Leo, of course, was amazing. Like I did not like the characters. I thought they were all so douchey and annoying, but I enjoyed the movie. I was never bored. But yeah, I was kind of like, these people, these are the type of men that I really just like don't like.
I don't think I've seen that.
I recommend watching it, but just know they're like really sexist and all like cheat on their wives the whole movie with like a million women, and like there's like they're just always like paying naked girlies to be around, which like nothing wrong with the girlies, but it was just kind of making me like, ew, these men, like, and just very greedy, money hungry, willing to go to whatever lengths and hurt other people in order to become rich. But it was still a good movie, and it was pretty funny in some parts, and I'm glad I watched it.
Well, yay.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! I'm already tired from the cherry.
Dude, I'm so tired. I was tired before we started recording.
Me too, but I'm like, is it the cherry juice or am I...
It's the placebo effect. No.
Well, what are we talking about today?
So, yeah, today we are talking about
making hard decisions.
Making hard decisions, even though they're the right decisions for your life.
Because I feel like as we're getting older, getting later in our 20s, I don't know, I feel like part of being an adult is having to make hard decisions. Whether that's quitting your job, finding a new job, moving on from relationships, changing friendships, making smarter financial decisions. You know, I feel like growing up when you're in elementary school, or I guess just all school, high school, college as well, you don't really have as many big... I mean, maybe you have big decisions like where you're going to go to college and stuff like that. I mean, I guess life is full of decisions. Now I'm like, what am I talking about?
Well, I think what we're talking about today is like not just big decisions, but like
hard ones.
Ones that you don't want to make. Like,
yeah,
decisions where maybe what you know is right to do isn't what you necessarily want to do, but you know it'll help you in the future, and you know it's the right thing, you know it's the best thing for you.
I am in my era of doing that, unfortunately. What I'm about to say, warning, is going to sound so privileged. I feel like y'all know I'm someone who loves to travel. This past summer I went to Brazil, and then I went on a solo trip to Costa Rica. Travel is my favorite thing ever, and I've always justified it even when I'm in not great financial situations. Like, and do I regret any of the trips I've taken? No, absolutely not. I don't think I'm going to be laying on my deathbed being like, I shouldn't have gone to Thailand. I should have worked. And that was also when I was working for Evil Scary Monster. Do I regret them? No. Has traveling and taking fun trips with the current financial state I am in led me to lots of stress and being behind on bills? Yes. And I can't do that anymore. And, like, I feel like I've always just been one to say yes, because I'm like, and to be fair, you never know when your last day is. Sorry to be morbid, but it's true. Like, for example, with Brazil, Kendall and I had been talking about backpacking, going somewhere since we were little. And she was like, after this summer, I'm... like, she was between grad school and starting a real person job, and I don't have any huge commitments in my life right now. Like, all of my jobs are very flexible. It's not like I'm like doing a dream job right now that I can't call out for. Like, I was like, financially, can I make this work? Not really, but schedule wise, sure. So, and I was like, we've been talking about this for forever or whatever. You know, I saved up for it, but even with saving up, it's like I was still gone for 3.5 weeks. And I'm not making money during that time. And I'm not really in a place where I can be doing that. I'm a starving artist, y'all. So yeah, and I've just had a habit of saying yes to everything in the past. One, because I think I'm a people pleaser and I don't like letting people down. And I just like to say yes to everything. But two, I so have the mindset of just like, life is short. I'm young. I'm not going to be able to do this kind of stuff forever. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to travel forever, but like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm young. I'm in my late 20s. I want to go, say, have fun in another country. But yeah, this year I've decided. I had a couple of friends who were already wanting to plan trips. Like, Pete and I were in a Greece group chat with some friends, and like a couple months ago I was literally like, yes, like I'm just gonna make it work, we'll figure it out. And like, same with just friends wanting me to visit them like across the country and stuff. And I literally just had to text multiple people the other day and be like, hey, unfortunately, 2026 is the year for me to not go anywhere because I've been doing a little too much of that. And every time I do that, it puts me in a pickle financially when I return. And although I have so much fun and I love doing that, I really need to get my life in order this year. So I just like went on such a long tangent, but that is a hard decision I've had to make. And I know that that sounds so privileged because it's like, I am choosing not to go to Greece with my friends. But that's that life.
I think it's like bigger than that too, because with the financial stuff in general, I felt a shift, a big mindset shift in like my mid-20s, entering in my late 20s. Like you were saying, I feel like I always used to be like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. You only live once. I'm young. I'm going to do everything. I'm not going to worry about my bank account. Like one day I'm going to be rich and it's going to be fine. And that may be true. But I think like there's a point where you have to like kind of lock in and be like, well, yeah, I do believe that I'm abundant and that, you know, I'm going to have all the things I want and this, that. But like, was I going about it in the right way? Just believing like, or like choosing to ignore my situation and just be like, I'm going to figure it out no matter what. And I did. I always figured it out. It always worked out. But I got to a point where I was like, this is no longer worth not having this stability. Basically just like not having that or having that stress. Like it's not worth having that stress.
My therapist mentioned that the other day. She was like, before, because I don't know, we were just talking about life, whatever stuff. I'm not gonna go into details, but she was pretty much like, you have to have the basic human needs.
Exactly.
Which are like food, roof over your head, things before you can start thinking about like the other things.
Yeah, like fulfillment and relationships and like feeling safe and loved. And
yeah,
that's like the next tier. And the first tier is literally, it's like your survival, human instincts.
I made a hard financial decision yesterday too, which was, I actually was about to text you and be like, I'm so upset. So I got off the wait list. Month ago, I got an email from the film studio that I'm obsessed with, that I take classes at. And I tried to sign up for a slot, but then they fill out like so quickly. It was filled out within like 15 minutes. And so I didn't get a slot, but then I got put on the wait list. And I got an email yesterday that was like, you're off the wait list. You have 1 hour to get in the class before it goes to the next person on the wait list. And I like looked at it, but it was too much money. And I was like, oh, I was so upset. And I was like, I could move money. Like, or they had a payment plan where I could pay like $100 every week for the next few weeks. But like, and I was like, I could, but like, then if I could, but then I like wouldn't be able to pay rent. So, yeah. But I was like kind of emo for the next hour after that. I was like, oh, it's so fulfilling. I love that class and I learned so much. And I was so just like, I got off the wait list and I still have to say no. And I said no.
I guess it's hard because like there are always going to be like classes and stuff, but it's hard when it's like hard to get into. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
I'll get in. I mean, I get those emails like once every couple of months. They'll be like, new class drop.
Yeah, there's always going to be stuff. And like, we have so much life ahead of us. Like, there's going to be... You're not missing out because you're choosing to, you know, be responsible, you know?
Yeah.
I think that was a huge thing for me the past, like, year and a half, is just, like, saving my money and preserving my energy. Like, saying no to a lot of things. And I think it really helped me. And now, this was going to be my smile. Well, this was, like, an option for one of my smiles. But I just feel like I'm learning... I mean, I preach balance, like, more than anything in life. I think that it's the key to literally everything. And I was journaling, it was either this morning or yesterday, but I just realized that I feel like I'm getting really good at, like, my Midwest
oh my God.
just came out.
Balancing.
There's a couple words where my Midwest Michigan accent comes out. Accent might be one of them, but balance is one. Sometimes it comes out and I'll say balance. But I'm getting really good at balancing all my different priorities in my life. And I feel like I'm only able to do that because, I don't know, like I've just maybe realize my priorities and my energy too. Like just knowing where I want to put it and how to distribute it between all the things. It's like very hard to do, but I feel like I'm figuring out a rhythm. And now like I feel very like creatively open and not forced. Like there were times in the past, like with my music, I felt guilty for like not writing, but I didn't want to write. So then I would like force myself, and like good things came out of that, because I do think sometimes like you have to just show up. But now I don't even feel any of that weight. I'm just like, you know what? That goes for everything. Writing, it's like I feel like open and inspired to like want to sit down and do it, but I don't feel like I need to. It's like something I want to do. And like there are other things where I just feel very like creatively inclined. Like I'm just really leaning into all the different things. Same with auditions. It's like I don't feel guilty anymore for like not going to everything, you know, because I've seen what auditions are happening and nothing's like speaking to me. So I'm like choosing not to go. And, you know, I'm submitting for the things I can online and like
pick and choose your battles.
And that's like a hard decision too. Because I think maybe if you're an ambitious person like we are, you want to do everything, or you feel like you should be doing everything, because that's like the key to success, is just like working so hard. And I do believe you have to work hard, but like not in a way that's just like you have to work smart, not hard.
I was literally about to say work smarter, not harder. That's what my old voice teacher used to tell me, the one who ghosted me. But that was some good advice. Like he would always really emphasize that. Like he's like, work smarter, not harder. Because he's like, so many people do things just to feel productive. Like especially in the theater or acting world, people will be like, I need to be productive at all times, and that means reorganizing my book and like finding new songs constantly and blah 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 blah. And he's like, is any of that like really actually helping you, or is that just like to make you feel like you're like making progress? Because it's a career where you really don't always feel like you're making progress, even, you know, just because sometimes you don't even get callbacks for a while, and then you'll just randomly book something, you know,
and then you're still expending all of that energy, but it's not going anywhere because it's not like what you should be doing. And also resting, so many people don't know how to rest. Like, and that's hard too. I feel guilty for rest sometimes, and it's like I have two parts of my brain, and one, it's like an angel and devil on my shoulder being like, what are you doing? Like, you should be doing something productive. And I literally have said out loud sometimes, like, stop, like, I'm fine. Like, I'm allowed to rest, because that's the only way to be able to have energy to put towards things.
Rest is very important.
It is.
You guys, I said this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but Albert Einstein took a nap every single day. We've also made hard friendship decisions too.
Yeah, that's another huge one, especially which in our 20s that we've experienced.
For sure. And we had a whole sewed on that too. If you guys want to go back and listen, picking and choosing, you know, letting go of friendships, that's a very, very hard decision to make. We've let go of people who we still love a lot and care about very deeply, but you know, things weren't really serving us, and that's another hard decision to make, but ultimately it was the right decision to make.
Yeah. I think like that's one of the biggest hard decisions you can make, you know, is a decision regarding a relationship, because it's so nuanced. There's so many things that go into it. You don't really know if you're making the right decision all the time when you are making the decision. So I think that's what makes it hard, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know until after.
And you just have to kind of trust your gut. And that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Ugh, that is hard to do. What's helpful is seeing how you feel. At least this is applicable with relationships, maybe not with like finances and stuff, but just seeing how you feel after hanging out with certain people and kind of sitting and reevaluating, like, do I feel drained? Do I feel uplifted? Do I feel worse about myself?
And like in patterns.
Yes.
Because people go through seasons and phases, and you might leave someone feeling drained, but it's not like a typical thing. And that's different because, you know, that happens. But if you notice it becoming a pattern, I think that's when you have to start making some hard decisions.
Yeah. You know what another big hard decision was? Moving to New York City, which didn't even really feel like a decision, probably
Right.
for either of us, because it's like, okay, well, we're both actors. That's what we're gonna do. Like, we're actually pursuing this. You can't do that really anywhere. I mean, of course, you go to LA or Chicago or like maybe Atlanta, but for at least what we majored in musical theater. You got to be here in New York. It still felt like a big hard decision too. I knew that I needed to move here and do this, but I was terrified, especially leading up to it. I didn't really like New York City until living here, which is so ironic. But do you remember when I was kind of crashing out because we visited like January that one year?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like this place. What do you mean I'm moving here after I graduate? I have said my whole life I'm moving to New York City and I do not like it. But I ultimately decided to do it and to stay even when the transition period was tough. I was like, I could go back to Greensboro. I could have a show life there, but like I'm going to decide to stay here and just see how it works out. And thank the Lord I did. Because now I live with Pete and I have a life here.
Mm-hmm.
But that was hard. I was really scared to move here. Did you feel really scared too?
No. Like, I'm trying
You're
to think
so brave.
back. I'm trying to think back to that time. Like, I don't remember. Like, my close friends, like including you, had moved here before me. So I was coming into a place where my closest friends were like establishing themselves here, which was comforting to me because, you know, I had maybe people to like, I don't know, like lean on, and like people who had been here like a whole year before me who helped me through that transition. And like I was moving in with you, so I didn't do the whole like sublet thing.
Us moving in together was a big decision too.
Yeah. I don't even like remember
Well,
that
I was
decision. Do you?
not really, but I was always terrified of living with a best friend.
Yeah,
I lived
everyone
with-
says don't do it.
Everybody says don't do it. I lived with a couple of friends in college, but they were like a couple years older than me, so they were graduating early, and then like, but that was a great living situation until I did get in a fight with them at the very end. But now we're fine, so whatever. But I think I was kind of traumatized from that and
Valid.
was like scared. And then I was just like, Pete is literally like bestie boo. If living together doesn't work out, like I'm scared of ruining friendships. But I think what we decided that we could do it after Treep,
Yeah, our road trip.
which we called Treep, Treep, because we were literally sitting in the back of a tiny Jeep for a month together. And it was honestly really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of scary too for me, but it ended up being one of the best decisions ever.
Yeah, I don't know
Like, thank
why.
God
I don't.
we lived together.
Maybe I was feeling those kind of emotions, but if I was, I don't remember it. Like, and maybe it is because like I was just so ready at the time.
Yeah.
And I had been visiting a lot, so I feel like I eased my way into living here so much more than like you did. And this was kind of like your first time leaving home.
Yeah.
In a way. I mean, I know that Elon, you didn't like go home all the time when you were there, but
But it was 30 minutes away from where I grew up and
Yeah.
like my hometown.
and I think I had already experienced like being so far away from home
yeah, that's
because
fair.
I went from Michigan to Elon, and that was scary. I will tell you that. But you know, once I got adjusted, I loved it, and I looked at those 2 years in between, you know, COVID years, kind of were a blessing in disguise. Not, of course, not the pandemic, but just like being able to go home so unexpectedly for like that long and it be justified and like just spend time with my family
yeah.
was nice, and also save money because I don't know what I thought I was gonna do. Like everyone goes from college straight to New York City, but I don't have a freaking dime to my name.
Yeah. Yeah, we were playing that fucking app
Oh
trying to
my
get
God.
$40.
I was gonna say we should tell that story because $40 was mentioned. I said we're not going to spend $40 on magnesium powder. And then whenever I hear the
Whenever
word
you hear
$40, I think about You tell the story. You're probably better at telling it.
Okay, so before Treep, back in the day, me, Pete, and then our two friends, Jake and Mason, we were like, okay, it's 2020. COVID is bad. What a perfect time to do a safe trip across the country where we camp everywhere because everything was shut down. It was the perfect time to experience nature and have a COVID safe trip. And so we did. The four of us traveled all across the country for a month and pretty much camped everywhere. We slept in tents and it was really awesome. But before that, me and Pete were both freaking out because neither of us had any money at all.
This was right after, I mean, it was like the summer
after graduating
college. And like we were just at home and it was COVID, so like we didn't have jobs because like nothing was happening. I got a job soon after, don't worry.
Yeah, we both got jobs like right after coming back from Treep,
but at this point I don't even know. I didn't have any money.
But I remember, who found it? Was it you or me who found the app? I think it might have been you.
I don't know. Sounds like something I would do.
I think it was Pete, like found this app. That's this like game where you pretend to be like, it's a game on your iPhone. It's like an app where you're like, are you a Viking? Like trying to like...
And you have like a, I don't know, like your community and you're like building it. And like,
so yeah, you're a Viking building a community. And the whole reason why we kept playing this game was because if you made it to level 17, you could win $40. And we were playing this game like it was our fucking job.
But it made it very hard to like
we
progress
couldn't
to
get
the
to
next level.
Yeah.
Because
it was a hard game.
There were tasks, like you would have to like plant a farm. Plant a farm? Is that even the correct term?
Plant a farm.
I don't know. You'd have to like plant crops. But then they would take like 7 hours for them to like...
Oh my god, yes! Like sometimes you had to wait overnight.
Which is how they get you. You can't just like make $40 overnight and like play and stay up for 48 hours and win. Yeah. It's because it would make you wait. So like, oh, you have to like plant these crops to get to the next level. But once you plant them, like it takes 7 hours in the game, like real time, for it to like grow and for you to like get to the next level. So that kept happening. I mean, we never got the $40.
No, but we were like we were constantly playing this game. Like I was like, and I remember I was with Kindle at the time, hanging out with her, and I was just playing this game, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I can win money like playing this game."
$40, you guys.
That would have been like a tank of gas. For an entire month. Like, why did we think that was worth it? $40?
$40. Yep.
And that was also when I...
things into perspective.
I made my, I'm like, do I want to talk about this on the podcast? My foot Instagram? Low-key, I will because it's funny. And I didn't do anything inappropriate. But, you know, some people out there have foot fetishes. And that's great for you. A lot of people are like, you can make money by selling pictures of your feet. That kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't give a hoot if I make... Like, I'm not doing anything... Like, I don't have to do anything unconsensual with my body. Like, if I'm just sending pictures of my feet to someone and they'll give me a couple $100, sure, I'm down. I made a feet... I was like... It was so funny.
What was it called?
I'll get there. The name of my Instagram.
Does it still exist?
So funny. No, I told my mom about it.
It was like there was a name, like
she got mad at me.
Kathleen or something.
I'll get there.
Kathy.
But I was like, you know what? Let me get into the feet business, which is so funny because at the
you said that's too casual.
I'm sorry, but
you know what? Let me get into the feet business.
I was like working so hard on my phone. I was going from playing this stupid Viking game back into Instagram where I was posting pictures of my feet, would scroll back to the Viking game, do a little more of that, go back to my Instagram, post more pictures of my feet. So anyways, I was like, I'm not going to have my real name on here, and none of my friends are allowed to follow it. Like, I don't want it being traced back to me. So I made a fake name, Catherine.
I was right. I was very close.
So my foot Instagram was feet.catherine. So I would go on feet.catherine.
It's still there.
And I don't think so. Wait, look. But no, I actually don't think it is. I told my mom about it, and she was like, delete this account. account.
Is it C or
It's K. But yeah, I would just post pictures of my feet and would hashtag like hashtag foot fetish, hashtag feet, hashtag toes, hashtag pretty toes.
Oh my God.
Like all of this stuff. And
it's not there, but there are so many Catherine foot accounts.
that's so funny. Yeah, I was feet.Catherine, y'all. And I will say, I got weird messages. Did I make any money? No. I got a lot of people wanting to scam me. Did I get questionable people in my DMs? Yes. I had a priest in my DMs.
How did you know he was a priest? I'm like,
Because his Instagram account was him all up in the church preaching.
that's so weird. I'm like, if you're a priest with a foot fetish who's gonna like be creepy on Instagram, don't you think you would like hide your identity?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, you would think so. It didn't look like it was like a big congregation. Like, I don't know.
That's still really weird.
I had a priest messaging me a lot being like, wow, your feet are so beautiful, like blah, blah, blah. I had someone who I had mutuals with who was viewing all of my stories. And he was from North Carolina, but there's no way, like he was definitely
So it was a
searching like
coincidence.
hashtag foot fetish and stuff because
Yeah.
there's no other way he could have seen my stuff. So I was like, not this guy who like I have mutual friends
it did
with.
come up in his like suggested, because if your same email was like linked to it, maybe. But
No, it was a secret email too.
Oh.
Yeah.
wow.
So, but yeah, I got some weird. Someone messaged me asking me to send them a water bottle full of spit, and they were gonna send me a lot. I didn't do it. They
Ew.
were gonna send me money for. He like offered to send me money for that. Just people.
Ew,
People
so
are weird. And I ended up telling my mom. This is actually so funny and dramatic.
I can't imagine what Polly's reaction was.
Oh,
to this.
she was so unhappy. She was more just worried about my safety rather than like judging me. I was mentioning something about, I don't know, we got in an argument about money, like me and my mom, and I was talking about how things are stressful, like whatever, and she's like, you need to be making more money. And I was like, I'm trying. And she was like, how are you trying? Like blah blah. And I was like, I have a foot. Like I have become so desperate, Mom, that I made a feet Instagram, okay? And she was like, what? And she was like, Noelle, delete that now. That is unsafe. And she got so upset with me. She was like, there are scary people out there. You are not posting your feet on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fair enough. And then I deleted it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I kept my identity so far away from it. Like, my face was nowhere. None of my friends followed it. I didn't follow any of my friends. It was with an entirely, like, I created a new email address for it. Like, so it couldn't, no one could have, like, found my house or even probably found, I mean, I'm sure if there are some crazy hackers who really know what they're doing, maybe someone could have found out it was me. And I wouldn't have even, I'm literally talking about it on the podcast right now. It's not like naked photos. It's like, it's my feet. Who cares? Like, and I thought people, why did I think I was going to make like hundreds of thousands?
Honestly, I mean, there are
People
probably
do.
some people out there who do.
They do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's so funny though.
So that was,
I forgot that you did.
why did I start talking about that?
Because you were talking about being desperate for $40 before Treep, and just, I don't know how we started talking about that, but
You know what's so funny though? Both of us ended up getting $1,000 from the government through like an artist thing because all of the arts were shut down. Pretty much every single like artist, actor, musician, whatever people could apply for this
$1,000.
$1,000 through the
And
government
it
because
hit
we lost
right
work.
before our trip. So, and that's how we made it work. Oh, bless you.
It was so perfect. Like we were grinding so hard to make $40, and then it was like suddenly
game.
we just like got $1,000 each, and we were like, oh, okay, now we can travel for a month, yay! And we were traveling on a budget too. I mean, like we were camping everywhere, and the food we were eating like weird food, like that we were making at the campsite,
and we had this cooler that smelled really bad.
Oh my god, the cooler!
It smelled horrible.
Yeah, our cooler
I don't know.
smelled scary.
It's like because something would like go bad in it, but then the smell would linger. Oh my god, it's so
our
gross.
cooler was.
And there was this one time we camped at a beach, but there was a literal windstorm, and I'm not even kidding. We were in the car. No, but we were trying to put up the tent too, and that was a disaster.
And the tent kept like blowing over.
Yeah, and so on a beach with a windstorm, so there's sand flying everywhere. And what we decide to eat is we have this like instant ramen, and we add this like black bean soup into the ramen, but it's not even like a black bean soup, it's like a bisque, so it's just pure liquid, no actual beans in it.
It's like this black liquid
in this ramen noodle, and I was like, ooh, this will be good. And then there was like sand in it, and it was just the most.
So we were like crunching it because it from the sand. Like we'd take a bite of this black bean ramen, and then we would each be like crunching sand
yes,
too.
It was so sad.
Oh my god, yes, yeah. So that was a time.
So yeah, I don't know how we got on this topic, but just I literally have no idea. I can't trace it back. Yeah, traveling. I don't know, making good financial decisions.
And hey, if you're someone who has the finances and hasn't traveled before, maybe you need to be the opposite of me and be like, you know what, I'm going to decide to take a trip this year. Oh, I'm so sad because Sarah is in her travel era this year, and I'm like, and she hasn't been in her travel era really before. Like our eras never align, so I'm like, of course now she's in her travel era when I'm
they
not.
Will though.
They'll line up. They will. But
can you talk about what you said you heard it on like another podcast about like how there are different periods in your life to focus on different things?
Okay, yes, I thought this was interesting. It was in Psychology of Your 20s, of course. I stay listening to it. One of our faves. Love you, Gemma. She meant it in kind of a different way, where she was like, if you're someone who has a lot of goals or multiple things you need to work on, sometimes people can't do everything at once. So like if you have 3 goals for the new year, for example, I'll explain how I'm doing it. So, okay, instead of doing them all at once, like all of your goals every single day, 365 days for the year, being like, okay, the first 3 months of the year, I'm going to focus on saving money. The next 3 months of the year, I'm going to train for a marathon. And then the last 3 months, so you're still accomplishing all of the things, but you're not overwhelming yourself by spreading yourself too thin throughout the year. So I'm implementing this into my life this year by having like the first few months of the year be my auditioning era, where I'm not thinking about a night of new works or much else in my career. I'm thinking about it mainly in career worlds. Like I will focus on auditioning, and then I'll be in my A Night of New Works era for a couple of months where I'm not even going to think about auditioning, and I'll just focus on that. Does this make sense?
Yeah, like when you have multiple things and ambitions and things that you're pursuing, you don't have to do everything all at once. I think that's a good way to find balance as well.
Well, because I think, sorry I'm interrupting, but I also think being in my career era this year, like I've been in my travel era so much, and I've been able to do both, where I'll audition a lot in the beginning of the year, but then I'll take a big trip, and then it kind of like throws me off for a little, which is fine. I mean, traveling is like my favorite thing in the world to do. But I think that this year it'll be kind of nice to be like, you know what, I'm cutting travel out because it takes a lot. Like it obviously takes your time and energy, especially when you're doing big trips where you're going to another country, backpacking, whatever. And it's also a lot of finances, but this way, cutting all of that out, I can put so much more time and energy into my career this year, which I think is what I do want to focus on right now.
Yeah. If this system works for you, I think it's a good way to really, like we were talking about how sometimes when you want to do everything, you want to do it all. Like you can't give all of your energy to anything because you're trying to give it to everything. And this is a really good way to be like, okay, for the first half of the year or the first 3 months of the year, I'm going to focus on, I don't know, like for me, if it were like, I'm going to focus on finishing my EP that I'm working on, and I'm going to just work on that. And when I have the creative energy, I'm going to work on that. And then the next 3 months, I'm going to like really grind at auditions. And then the next 3 months, I'm going to
so much better at explaining it.
And then the next 3 months, I'm really going to focus on my fitness. You know, it's like, you know, even maybe throughout that, once you are really focusing on one thing, maybe you can find ways to integrate other things into once you kind of realize, oh, because I have all of this energy to work on this one thing, I'm not thinking about everything else, but maybe naturally some things will start creeping in there too, and you learn kind of how to juggle everything.
Like, I think in the past, I've also been like, I can have everything, which I do believe. Like, people are like, you can either choose, like, you can either be on Broadway or, like, I don't know, just growing up in the musical theater world, people are always like, if you want to be a successful actor, you have to dedicate your entire being to it.
So don't agree with, but...
And I also don't agree with that. I think that life experience makes the best actors, and period. Like, I'm like, tell me backpacking South America for a month isn't going to give me cool human experience that I can bring to characters.
Yeah, and just other things. Like, if you're an actor...
Hobbies.
You're most likely a creative person. So, having those other outlets, like, they all inform each other. I think in any way you can feed yourself in that way, it's going to, like, it gives back to you. Mm-hmm. This is something that I've realized within the past week too. There are some days that, like, really just give back to you. Mm-hmm. And that can be from the smallest things, like the kind of things we talk about for our smile of the week.
Yeah.
And there are some days that just take and take and take from you. Mm-hmm. And that goes for everything. Relationships, jobs. Like, you just really have to find the things that give back to you in some way. Yeah. Because if you're just in a situation that's taking and taking, you have nothing left to give, or you have nothing for yourself,
Exactly.
So
I just can't spread myself too thin anymore. I can't do it. Also, going back to how people are always like, if you want to be an actor, you have to, I don't know, just thinking that you can only have one thing. I fully see actors whose lives I want. Not in, like, a jealous way, but just, like, I can have that two-way. Like, actors that, like, originate a role and then it moves over to the West End, so then you get to do the role in London for a year. Dream of mine. Anyone out here who is London-based, one of my biggest dreams ever is to be on the West End. Take me back to London, please. But you can also travel and still be an actor. But I do think maybe what I'm realizing is that I need time to get to a place in my career that I want to be, because I don't have the career yet. Like, I've had the traveling and I will continue to have that, but I think I need to take a little bit of time to be like, okay, and also not just career. Well, this includes finances too. Like, I'm just like, I need to get my finances and my life in order in a lot of ways. And then I can continue the traveling as well. But until I've made it to a certain point in my finances, I gotta really start focusing on what I want my future to look like. Mm-hmm. Financially and artistically fulfilling wise.
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, there's so many different things we want and we see for our lives, but sometimes in order to, like, truly gain those things, you have to, like, step away from them. Yeah. In order to, like, do it the right way. Yeah. And that can go for anything. Like,
you know what's I thought this was so cool. One of my high school friends, Carly, who I don't really talk to anymore, but I hope they're doing well. They worked at Trader Joe's in Greensboro with one of their friends for, like, full time for, like, 9 months or something, which, like, isn't even, I mean, most people work a full-time job for a very long time, and I'm sure that they're working again, but the purpose was to save money to be able to backpack Southeast Asia for a couple of months. They worked at Trader Joe's, saved all of their money, lived at home with their dad in Greensboro, saved a shit ton of money, and then used it all to backpack Southeast Asia for a couple of months, which is so cool and crazy. But of course, like, in order to do that, they had to endure 9 months of working
and not doing
constantly, like 6 days a week, like 9-hour shifts at Trader Joe's, you know, like, and yeah, I'm learning that if I want to do certain things, I've got to save money.
Yeah. And then once you, like, have your feet under you, then you can really start figuring out how to balance things
Yeah.
all at once,
For shizzle.
you know?
Yeah.
But it all requires decision making and
It does.
maybe doing some things you don't want to do and that you know will be good for you in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, people are always like, actors can't have family. Like, have you heard that too, where people are
Well,
like, actors can't have kids?
That's such a narrative, not to, like, or like you have to have your career figured out before you can think about that. But I'm like there are people on
do
Broadway
it.
who have kids.
Dude, Audra
and
McDonald.
families.
I mean, obviously, I don't know her personally, but she seems like she's in a very happy marriage and has kids, and she's won a shit ton of Tony Awards.
Yeah,
like,
I just think that
I'm like,
there's no right way to do life or to have a successful career or like relationships. You know, it's just like I hate that narrative of that too, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, what if I met someone and it's like freaky, because I mean, I wonder if you kind of said you were feeling that, like, oh, I have a boyfriend now, but now my career is not where I want it to be, probably, like, but why do they have to like be related, you know? Like,
that is,
but it's because it's ingrained in our minds, like, well, if you settle down and get married and have kids, then this part of your life is over, so you better figure that out before that happens. But it's not true.
I know.
It's not true at all.
It is so weird. Yeah, like, it's like those aren't even related. Why am I like...
I mean, they can be if you make them. Like, there are definitely, like, logistics that go into, oh, now I am married or, like, you know, in this committed relationship. Oh, I do have kids. I've, like, obviously, we're not ignorant to the fact that, like, that might make it harder.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you can't, I don't know. It's just, there's no right way to do it.
Life is weird.
Yeah, there's no one way.
It just feels like, I feel like we're all just have these to-do lists of like, when I do this, then my life will be perfect, and then when I do this, also shit comes up that maybe you wouldn't expect too. Like, you could be with the love of your life, you could be rich, you could have a dream job, but then what if your best friend dies? Like, I feel like that sounds so like, but I so serious though.
Yeah,
like,
life is unexpected.
Life is very unexpected, so I feel like we all need to stop trying to have the perfect life and just find contentment
and just loosen the reins on what you think you want or how you want things to look. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing that too. I'm proud of myself, because I think I spent so long, like I was saying earlier, kind of like feeling like I had to do this and that, and there's some things I'm starting to realize, you know, maybe this exact situation within this career is not what I want. Maybe that's not really, you know, that sounds very vague, but like, there are just like certain...
I know exactly what you mean.
I know, because I was talking to you about it the other day, but there are like certain acting jobs that like I thought about, and I'm like, maybe this isn't really me. Like, this isn't really... But sometimes I think I need to do and try for everything, because I have like the scarcity mindset of like, well, if I haven't worked at all as an actor, I better like take what I can get or try to do everything. But it's like, why can't I really focus on what I would actually want?
Dude, it's hard because there is such a balance too, though, because it's like I feel like there can be truth in like stepping stones and building your resume, but then it's also like, you and I already enjoy our lives in New York City for the most part, so it's like, why would I be like so excited and like to audition for this show, and it is in the middle of nowhere in Iowa for 3 months and it pays $300 a week?
Exactly.
But it's an acting job, so I'm grateful. Like,
those are the kind of jobs I'm talking about. Like,
they make us seem like we need to be going for that and grateful for any opportunity, and it's like, I can't live on $300 a week, nor do I want to be in the middle of Iowa.
That's what I was kind of trying to say when I was rambling. Like, I have always thought, like, oh, I need to do everything because any opportunity, and there is truth to this, and I still believe it. Like, it's something on your resume, it's something learned, it can be a stepping stone to like the jobs you actually want. But it's like,
she's repositioning.
Is it because I'm trying to think of how do I word this. Me personally, do I actually want to go to the middle of Iowa to be paid like $300 to $500 a week? And you know, if it's not a show I'm like super passionate about or a role I'm super passionate about. So there are some things I'm skipping past, like when I'm seeing the submissions. And would I say that's a hard decision? Not right now, but it took me a long time to get to this mindset of like, actually, maybe I want to like really focus on film acting and like believe I could book a movie or like book a Broadway show and go to those things, believing that I could get that as easily as I could if I had these other jobs on my resume. Does that make sense? Am I just like rambling?
No, it does make sense. It's like some of the random little jobs aren't, it like if they're not fulfilling, if they're not a stepping stone on your resume, and if they don't pay anything, what is the point?
Yeah.
Like, are you just supposed to be grateful because like, but it's a job?
But it's like, would I even want to do that more than I would just want to live my life here that I'm like happy with?
And
it's like a weird thing, but I feel guilty saying that.
I know, but that's why fulfillment plays a role in it too, because we're not just, maybe I sound like an asshole talking about the pay, like $300 a week or whatever.
It would be different if it was fulfilled. Yeah, if it was a role I really cared about, or if it was like a new work that I was passionate about. I wouldn't care if it paid $300. I wouldn't care. I would do it for free.
The first year I lived here, and people I met who have had songs in A Night of New Works, do you remember that like 20-minute musical I did that was like maybe not, I don't know, it was called The Talk. It was by Sophie Boyce and Fred Feeney. It was through like the NYU graduate student writing program.
You recorded it. It wasn't like live, right?
Yeah, it was when I recorded. I got paid $20 for that, and I like, you know, had to work on it and do it and go to rehearsals and film this whole thing. I don't give a hoot about the money with that, like,
because that's about the fulfillment and working with, collaborating,
and
like,
I met these amazing composers who are now off to, like, Sophie is producing her new shows at Goodspeed Opera House, which is like a really great regional theater, and like they're just doing really awesome things, and I got to make these connections and meet friends, and then it ultimately inspired A Night of New Works. And like that's an example of something that was like, it was fulfilling, and I do feel like it was a stepping stone in my career. It might not have gone to like Broadway producers or people, but it helped me to meet other creatives who are making really cool shit.
Exactly.
And A Night of New Works. So yeah, like I made $20 for that, and it was like work, but I was just happy to be there, and I would still do stuff like that. Like,
oh, same. Yeah, it's not, someone once said there are like 3 things when you receive like a job offer, like it pays well, it's fulfilling, or it's what's the other one?
Like a stepping stone on your resume. Right?
Or it's like good for your career.
Yeah, like it could like move your
like
career
if you
up.
like get a job at a really good theater, but maybe it pays like shit, you know?
I
like,
remember
it has to have 2 of those 3 things in order to be a job worth taking, or, you know? And I just think that like playing like Ariel in Footloose in Kansas for like $500 isn't what I want. I just don't think I get joy from that anymore, and people do. So I think the people who get joy from that should do that. But I think I'm just realizing that about myself, and I feel guilty saying that.
And we shouldn't feel guilty.
And I shouldn't, because I'm so much more. I just only want to focus on things and do things that I really actually want to do.
Fair enough.
But I think that's actually really going to help me get those things, you know?
And, you know, ironically, and maybe I shouldn't say this, and maybe I'll want you to cut this out, I don't know, but like there are also some Broadway shows. Would I say no to any Broadway show I got cast in right now? Absolutely fucking not. I would be so thrilled and would sob tears of joy if I booked any Broadway show. That being said, are there a few shows on Broadway right now that I actually don't really like and like would maybe be
of course.
Not like, I could imagine, I have a few shows in mind that I would not at all be artistically fulfilled doing, but that would be a major stepping stone on my resume. And
it pays.
And it pays well. And I will say, like, even if it's a show that I might not be artistically fulfilled from, like, I ultimately would rather be singing and acting in anything over tour guiding.
Well, and that's why Broadway is different, because it's a show in New York where you live, and it's like a longer contract most likely. So it's more of like, this is my job, not like a job I'm doing for a month and coming back. Like it's not as much like feeling like you're freelancing, like contracting. It's like, this is my job, and obviously it's a huge stepping stone, and you're making connections, and it also pays better than anything else.
Yeah. And you're still, your job would be to sing and act.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. But it's different than your job being to sing and act in a random theater in Iowa for $300 a week.
For a few weeks, and then you're done with it.
It's like, even if something's not fulfilling, it can still be fun.
Yes.
And
that's true. And that's the missing piece for me, is like, I haven't been in a show in so long that I don't even know, like, if I would have fun. Maybe I just haven't been in a show in so long and have forgotten what that feels like and the joy of it, and maybe that would make it worth it in itself.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know anymore.
Dude, Rodney just had so much fun doing a silly show. Like, he literally was like, this script is pretty bad, but
Is it bad?
Kinda. The script for the musical on-stage version is kinda...
Damn, that sucks.
I mean, but obviously the music is still great in it. I don't want to say what the show is, because I don't know. I don't want his whatever. But, like, he had so much fun. He was like, I'm being paid to be silly.
That is so valid, too. But he also makes a living as an actor. So it is a job for him.
He is fully a working actor, which is crazy.
It's different when you come and you haven't booked things, so you've established your life here, and you're like,
exactly.
Okay. It's just so fucking weird.
It's like, here's the question. Because I have to pay my rent. Like, we are attached to a lease now. It's not like we're not attached to anything, and we could just, like, say, fuck it, I'm going to Iowa, and I'll get paid $300, but it doesn't matter because I don't have bills.
Right.
It's like...
I can't pay my bills with that?
No.
Are you kidding? Yep. Nope.
It's like, we are attached to this apartment. We have, like, I like my jobs. Like, I like my personal assisting job, obviously. I love it. And I enjoy tour guiding for the most part. Yeah, it's like, would I rather just, like, keep living my New York City life? And when we're here, we also have the opportunity to audition for things, too.
For things that we want to be doing.
Exactly. Like, if we went... I keep using Iowa's. I don't even know if there's a theater in Iowa. If we went to bumfuck Iowa for 2 months and made $300 a week, we would also be missing all of the Broadway auditions and stuff here. So it's also like, you have to pick and choose your battles. Some things would be worth leaving and not being able to audition for a couple months with. Some things are not, in my opinion. It's like, I'd rather stay here just in case, like, I can audition for something else that suits me better than just, like, saying yes to any job because it's a job.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you're not an actor, I feel like hopefully it still is relatable, because I think it just speaks to a bigger concept, you know, of just, like, figuring out, like, really understanding what feels aligned with you.
Yeah.
And it's okay if, like, that's not what it used to be, first of all, or, like, what you thought it was, because we are always growing and changing. And, like, I think there was a part of me that was attached to that, like, college version of myself, like my 18-year-old self, who like, would have loved to go play
Sophie and Mamma Mia.
Sophie and Mamma Mia. That's a perfect example. In, like,
Iowa.
In Iowa, I guess. You know? But I'm like, I don't really know if that's me as an artist. Could I do that? Yes. There are just other things. And I'm not trying to speak down on those jobs whatsoever, because it's not about the job, it's about me and, like, what I want to do.
Yeah.
And what fulfills me. Like I said, there are plenty of people who get joy for that. I think I'm just realizing maybe I don't. And
that's a hard decision to...
It is.
Or a hard realization, I guess.
It is, but it's also kind of liberating, because I think there was just a part of me that was attached to this old version of myself. And I think we're constantly changing. Maybe one day I will really want to go and do that. But I think like having that realization is helping me to understand my life and like my path as an artist and what I want to focus on and other things outside of acting and music that I'm getting into creatively and wanting to focus on, and even outside of any sort of creative endeavor.
Yeah.
I'm a human outside of that too.
We are humans. Or are we dancers?
Are we humans? Are we dancers?
Did we even talk about decision making?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
The whole thing was about,
Okay,
because
true.
it's not just obvious like decisions. It's about understanding yourself, I think, and like making decisions based off of that.
Yeah.
And I think everything we talked about relates back to that somehow, you know?
Yes.
And that's what we're
True.
going through right now. And I think
Life.
that was an important episode to dig into.
Yeah.
Because I think no matter where you are in life, it can apply. Even if you're not in your 20s.
You know, also in the side note, in the past when I have traveled, like before I went to Thailand and before I went to South America, my mom was like, but what if you book something? Like, you need to stay here so just in case you book. And I'm like, and so I've thought about this before where I'm like, should I not go to Thailand? Because like, what if I book something?
That's hard.
Guess what? Well, first of all, I didn't book anything, but also I've decided when I do big trips like that, like for Brazil last year, for example, I was like, I am only going to audition for the things that I would actually cancel this trip over.
Yeah.
And this trip is very important to me. So like, I'm only going to go to Broadway auditions or like the fucking, I don't know, like the big regional ones or like TV, like big career changers. If it's anything else like random, I'm not even going to audition for it because I'm not going to choose that over Brazil. And so that's kind of where my mind has gone to, which I think a lot of actors probably feel like they have to be in the city too. And like, I mean, of course you do need to live here, but if you have other things you want to do, you can just like audition for the things that would be worth canceling your trip for, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's what I started doing.
So you saying that kind of put things in like a way of like what I was talking about, like audition for the things that you would change your life for, like cancel your life for.
Yeah.
Like that's
what we're taking home today.
Yeah, so like if you take out the trip or the Brazil part, because I think that's a great way to look at life too. If there's things you want to do or places you want to go and you're worried about leaving your endeavors. But like, why can't that apply to every day? Like,
exactly.
I'm just going for the and obviously the reason why we're in New York, there are so many things we can do, like film stuff that just you can just do and then go back to your life.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm just trying to like think of my life as greater, so much greater than this career.
Yeah.
Even though it's such a big part of me and I'm still so passionate about it and working hard towards it. But like anytime I talk about this topic, I feel guilt.
I know.
And
me
it's
too.
fucking weird because like we shouldn't, because life is so much more than like theater.
I know, it's so odd.
But like I think we were just taught to be,
I know.
if you can picture yourself doing anything else, then don't do this.
Dude.
Which is just not, I want to do this and do a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And be a person.
When my mom has been like, what if you like book Broadway? I'm like, then I'll cancel Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And the thing is, you always have a decision to make if it comes to that.
exactly.
Like, you know? So just go about your life and do the things you want to do. Go for the things.
Yeah.
There's no harm in like applying for the job or like going to the audition, you know? And then you can make the decision later.
Exactly.
If you happen to get it.
Yeah, I think, just kind of doing things and then being like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
You don't have to make decisions before
you have the decision to make.
Dude, side note, I'm in the mood for a cookout tray right now.
Oh, I miss cookout.
Me too.
I hope that we go to North Carolina.
We will.
I haven't been in so long. We were talking about doing a little North Carolina trip.
That might be my one trip this year.
Yes. I mean, we're going to Florida too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, that's not really a trip. Like, it's just like a little...
we're staying there for free. We're going to see Michaela's show, and our round trip flights were $75 each.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's so. Hey, if I already texted you and said like, sorry, can't visit you, can't do this trip this year, and now you see me in Florida, know that it's because, one, this was planned beforehand, two, $75 round trip, and we're actually not paying for anything when we get there either. So,
yeah.
And it's to see a show. And I'm excited.
Me too. I'm really excited. I keep forgetting that we're going.
I know.
I'm
like
excited
what?
to be in warm weather.
We can like tan.
Thank God. I need that.
I'm tired.
Me too. We can end this. But the take home is...
make decisions.
The take home is...
that we love ya.
Whatever. We said the take home.
The take home is...
in life, you're going to have to make hard decisions.
So make them.
Sometimes you don't even realize that there's a decision to be made. But if you feel like something is off or unaligned, then maybe there is a decision to be made.
Exactly. That's,
you know what I mean?
That's so true. Like sometimes... yeah. Sometimes life presents you with decisions where you actually just like have to make one to move forward. But sometimes there are decisions where like you don't really have to make one, but it's kind of like, I'm going to decide to let this thing go.
Yeah, it's not like you're deciding between this opportunity or this opportunity or this thing and this thing. It's not always so straightforward, but sometimes there's a decision to change your habits or end a relationship or cut people out of your life. When something isn't aligned and you have to make a decision to move forward, listen to yourself, your instincts, and what your heart is telling you. Follow us at Take It Home Pod on all the platforms. Instagram, TikTok, you can find us there. You can email us. No, I'm kidding. Watch this on YouTube at Take It Home Pod and subscribe, follow us. We come out with a new episode every Thursday. If you have any ideas for an episode or if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, please DM us and let us know. We're always open to suggestions. Goodbye.
Goodbye.